Welcome to This Week in Geek. It's April 26, 2017. We have a new format, and you, if you're listening, are privy to that new format. This is going to be kind of a short show. It's the final prequel to episode 100. We're not even going to number this one because it's really the Phantom podcast. That's my music for it.
It's the Billy Zane. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, it's the Billy Zane of podcasts. It's the Phantom. When we get the other guys on here, I want to show some of the giveaways that we've got.
Cool.
And talk about some of the other business. But, for now, those of you that normally listen to the show, you're going to hear some changes coming forward after the next episode. And this episode is kind of going to be the precursor to that as well. A couple of things we're going to try is we're going to try to go to a different format as far as the team. We now have 5 people. We all love talking to each other, but it's a lot of voices on this show. So we're going to start signing up and splitting it up so we don't have the same 3 people on every time, but there's never going to be more than 3 on the show. I think that sounds pretty good. I think everyone's agreeable with that. You're agreeable, right, Chris?
Sure.
All right.
I am. I'm agreeable with it. It's good.
Then that's what happens. But tonight it's going to be, it might be all 5. I don't know. Next week is definitely all 5, maybe 6 if we can talk Edward into jumping on at some point, since it is the big 100. Hello, Sally. Sally, you are always here.
She's Peter Best of the
Yes.
This Week in Geek.
Yes, you're the Pete Best. You're the silent one, but you're part of the group. So that's one thing. We'll be going to a 3-man format, but we are not losing anybody. We're just going to rotate out. That gives us a little bit of a break. We are also not going to cover the news the same way we have. For the past 2 years, we've experimented with different ways to cover the news, and we found that, you know what? That's not much different than everybody else out there, even though I think that we bring something different to the table in how we present it. It's not really a different format. So we're going to just go with conversation. We love to talk to each other and hang out. Basically for the news, what we've done is in this last week, and I don't know about you, Chris, but I think this has been amazing. We went to adding all the news on our Facebook feed and on our Twitter account.
Yeah.
Why should we cover all of it? We can just kind of talk about what strikes us then. And let that be what it is. So if you want all that geek news, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. That's how we're going to have that. It's been working.
It's Lil Kunitsa. Hi, Lil.
Hey, Lil.
How's everybody doing?
Good. I was setting everything up, letting everybody know what we're kind of doing as far as changes. So, tonight will be a half hour. Nice and short. When the other guys get on, I'll talk about some of the extra stuff. So how's your week been, Lil?
Not bad. Just kind of
recover from C2E2.
Yeah, you
had the geeks. You had Steve and Sean here.
I did. So yeah, there is some recovery time. Didn't sleep well all weekend.
You guys having a pajama party? Lots of pillow fights and stuff.
No, I was sleeping in my own bed. Thank you. They got to sleep in the basement.
There with you too. Wow.
No, my wife was next to me. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So Sean.
Wow.
No, I'm teasing, man. No, it was nice to meet those guys, and I'm just giving you a little.
Yeah, man.
I know it's hard having guests and kids and stuff. So
it was such the weekend was like it seems like we did so much, but it was just such a blur. Like you wanted to do so much and it just didn't fit in time. Like Saturday blew by. And we only hit like a few stores because of traffic getting into the city and stuff. It was just
you guys chose. Did you go down and see the Jordan statue?
Well, we tried to. They moved it that Monday before. They moved it indoors.
Nice.
The Monday before.
Great timing, buddy.
We're driving around the United Center and can't find it. Sean's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, it's got to be right around here. I'm like, there's the Blackhawk stuff. You see all the Hawk statues, and I'm like, oh, it's usually right there or the opposite side. I don't get it. I mean, we circled, and then realized that they started looking it up on their phones. They're like, oh, it was just because even my wife texted me. She's like, did they move it? And I'm like, I have no idea. And we found out that they did.
They moved it. Did you go see the disturbing Harry Carey statue after that?
No, we went like near the Bean, and then like it was just traffic. They were just excited because like I was taking a lot of the tunnels, like not the tunnels, but like under the bridges and stuff, like in the Dark Knight.
Oh, Lord!
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my God, it's the Dark Knight!" And I'm like, "Okay." So I started looping around that.
And you went, I don't care. That's Batman.
I like Nolan's trilogy.
No, I know. Oh I can't get this lighting right. I look all blue.
Me too. I need some lights in there or something.
There.
Yeah, but it was a cool weekend. Like I said, it just seemed like things went by too fast. And then the toy show in King County was phenomenal. We found so many great deals, and I feel bad now because I talked Sean out of a few things that he can't get for that same price right now.
What kind of stuff did you get?
Well, I got a Sega Genesis in box. The Sega Genesis.
That's where you bought it. Was there?
Yeah. It was listed as 60, and I talked him down to 25 in box.
Nice.
With it came with 2 extra 6-button controllers.
Nice.
And like I said, like the full box. It was the second version of it, which is fine. I have the first version, thanks to you, Rob. And
is that where mine went? Did I give it to you?
You gave me the Genesis button with no hookups, no controllers. It's just sitting there.
That's all in my garage.
I know.
No adapter, no plug. It's just a box.
It is. No. He just the system. Yeah. So
did I give you that Atari too?
No, you said you were going to. So.
Yeah, there's an Atari here too with tons of games,
and
including Superman, which is so terrible.
One of the worst. Yeah.
We all had it.
I remember it. I still. Do you have Spider-Man?
No. On Atari?
If I get the Atari 2600, I have to find Spider-Man 4 because that was the game I played nonstop. Like you swing up a building and then you fight the Green Goblin at the end, and then like
I don't remember that one at all, and that would have been totally in my wheelhouse. So it was a for a 4-bit system. It was fun. I didn't get the Superman game until I was an adult when I started collecting video games again. Mm-hmm. Because I became a collector and I was out buying stuff, and I found this used place. Hey, Phil,
what up?
Used place in Minneapolis that had like a whole display of Atari stuff.
Oh, cool.
And they were selling the games for 50 cents and $1 a piece.
Oh,
so I bought everything that I didn't have.
A dream of those days.
That's how I found Superman. I was like, oh yeah, I'll take this. You want to hear a crazy story? Someone I know. This isn't like a friend of a friend story. This is a guy that he's the cousin of a friend of mine, and we hung out in Minneapolis. And he was also way into gaming, and he knew when I was collecting. And he had the best story. He was living out in California, and he had started collecting and everything. And this is before meetups and stuff like that. So it was more like you're at a comic shop and you run into somebody and you get in a conversation and they go like, hey man, I've got this, come out and check it out, which is always scary. You could end up like in Dexter's clean room, and he says, yeah, I've got all these Atari games and, old Genesis and stuff. If you want them, I'm willing to sell them for, $1 a piece. Come on out. I've got a garage full. My wife wants me to get rid of it. So the guy takes a gamble. He goes out there and he said, this guy, what he had done was when the warehouses were closing that had all this stuff, they just put it all out at the dumpsters. So he went and he garbage picked tons, right? All brand new in box, like everything. And he said he gets in there and he said he's looking around this guy's place and, he's got some games and stuff. And he said he's got, it's like a modest place or whatever out in the kind of desert area. And he said, the guy says, oh, well, you want to see the stuff? He said, they go into the garage. It is literally like a 2-car garage, packed floor to ceiling. He said the games were all the way up. They were stacked, like this, and you walked down aisles to get through everything. He said his mind was like exploding, and he just went through and he said he was just like picking everything off the shelves. He said I had like armfuls of stuff, and the guy's like, $100, crazy man.
It wasn't like all ET games.
No, but he did get an ET game.
I would take all ET games.
That's worth a little bit of money, isn't it, right now?
Not really, but it's still it's part of gaming history, man.
It's a piece of history. It's something. If you're a collector, you want to have it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I bought this. I mean, it's a second Genesis system, so I'm like, well, it's not like it's highly sought after, but it came in the box.
Yeah,
I opened it up and it had, like I said, 4 controllers in there: 2 3-button, 2 6-button. And I'm looking at it, and I asked the guy, I'm like, does it work? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you gonna do better than 60 on this thing? So he came down, then I negotiated more, and I got it for 25 because I figured worst case scenario, I got a whole bunch of extra controllers for whatever.
For $25, you can now use that first edition that I gave.
Exactly, So I just figured it was a good gamble, and the thing, I opened it up, I wiped it down with some wipes, and it looks like it's literally factory new,
nice.
Just came out of the package, and it had all the instructions and everything in the plastic bags. It looks like it never was open. I'm like, I mean, the box has got some wear, but I'm like, this is fantastic.
So, what games do you have on the Genesis, Scott? You're a gamer. You probably have a ton of Genesis games.
I don't know. I have 20 games. I need more.
What do you got?
I was playing today. The kids. I was letting them learn Sonic. But I get a bunch from you too. The Mutant League football.
Oh, I gave you these.
You gave me Mutant League football.
All right.
I picked up Mutant League hockey. That's a hard one to get and a rare one.
Yeah. Mutant League football is awesome, though.
I'm trying to figure out.
And even there's a remake that came out last year. The same guy that designed the original game came out with one last year, and I know one of the writers on it. Rebecca Rothschild is a writer on that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Is it a homebrew cartridge or is it
No, it's like a regular release, I believe.
But for the Genesis or for something else, for the Xbox?
It's a new one for the Xbox One or one of those.
That's what I'm saying. What you can actually get now, which is awesome, and I because I'm not going to be a completionist. It's just not going to happen. I mean, there's 800 NES games, 1,000 Super Nintendo games, 1,000 more than 1,000 Genesis games, and then if I start going international, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah. Get the Super Famicom. That's like your entire life.
I do want to get a Super Famicom. I found some cheap. I want to find. I'm picky with my consoles. I want to make sure that they look really nice. That's why I don't have a Super Nintendo yet, because every one I find, the plastic is yellowed on it, and I know there's ways to clean it.
Right.
I just don't want to take the time to clean it.
Right.
I would rather pay a little extra to get a whiter grayish console rather than the yellow where it looks like somebody was in the bathroom with it.
Yeah,
isn't that a natural? Isn't that though a natural?
It is a natural oxidation.
Yelling,
yeah, it's natural. So I mean, I don't, if I was going to get my second system that I was going to put in the basement.
Yeah, then who cares, right?
I would do that. Yeah, because then I would color with marker, or stick a bunch of stickers over it. But I want one nice, because you can still get them pristine. They still have a lot of them out there are fully gray. It depends on how you kept it. The crazy thing is all the lights in your house is what actually started changing the colors in it.
Right.
But what I was getting to was there's actually new releases of Sega Genesis, Nintendo, and they're called homebrew games, where these programmers actually develop these games because you could buy the cartridges, install them, and they sell them at the conventions and stuff.
Yeah. This Mutant League football is a regular release, but the homebrew thing is unbelievable.
I can't wait. I can't wait to start finding some, because I mean somebody's made a bunch of new Mario games.
Yeah.
The 8-bit, 16-bit style, and
there was open source or something had a whole list of this, and it was listing all these types of different homebrew games and was ranking them. And there's some of them that, especially the stuff that's like the Mario skin, and they've reskinned it, that are supposed to be just excellent.
Yeah, and it's also fun because some of them actually have put they've taken this Mario trilogy for the Nintendo, and they've redesigned the levels, and they've mashed them together and then put it on a Genesis cartridge. So you can only play it on the Sega Genesis, Super Mario Brothers, which is awesome. Which
nice.
Again, stuff I want to hunt down. I want to get that kind of unique stuff.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I got an arcade marquee for Marvel's Capcom game.
Yeah, that was sweet.
And I can't wait to hang it up. And now I'm thinking about using that whole loft area where I'm putting the video game room and making a border around the room of all these old classic marquees. But I want original ones that have wear on them. I don't want because people make reproduction ones.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want to get it where somebody's ripped a cabinet apart from 1980.
Exactly, because I've seen Donkey Kong, and I've seen get a lot of those vintage games. Like get that early '90s Turtles game where like the terrible actress model is April O'Neil with the cartoon turtles. Like terrific stuff.
Get a Dragon's Lair.
Of course, I get a Dragon. Of course.
Yeah, I had the for that. I never had any of the home versions, but Space Ace, they put out a DVD edition.
Yeah,
which was great. I have it. I think I still have it. And you just use your DVD controller, and it worked actually really well.
It's not a bad idea for some of those games like that. Even Dragon's Lair. I mean, that game was tough. That game was tough. I had a friend that spent his college fund playing Dragon's Lair, and he beat it. He finally got to the end, and he said what really sucked is you get to the end, and literally, you know how you would make a bad choice and you would turn into a skeleton and you're dead. He said it's literally in the very last second you still have a choice like that. And he said he got all the way there, played forever, made the wrong choice. And he said as soon as he did it, he knew. He's like, oh, if I went left, I would have lived. So he did go back and play it and beat it, but he said even in the last second, it was that hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I could never get into that style of game where it feels like it's hard for the purpose of being hard and not because it's hard because it's a challenge.
Right.
Yeah. I enjoy a good learning curve in a game, but the ones that they've made like that where, I've tried to play the Space Ace and the Dragon's Lair and
was that cat I saw in there?
That's the best you've looked all night, Scott.
Wow, 5 minutes on. 5 minutes on.
You come late to the party, buddy. You're missing out action. No, I'm teasing you.
Yeah, I try to play these games and doing that random left, right thing, and I'm like, that's not really a challenge game. You're just memorizing a thing. So. Yeah,
exactly. Although those games were pretty.
The thing is that was the uniqueness of the classic arcade era, like memorizing and learning the patterns.
Right.
And I love that. Like that was where I was at my best. Now this open world stuff, man, I get although I'm loving Zelda on the Switch.
Yeah, I haven't played that.
It just gets crazy.
I am playing the heck out of Skyrim is what I'm playing right now. So
I'll get it when it's released on the Switch. I've never played Skyrim. I'll switch it.
So good, man. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm buying it. It's like an 8-year-old game now. And I picked it up.
The first one's 10, isn't it?
Oblivion. No, the first one was the first one Oblivion?
I don't know. I think it's
this is Skyrim. This is the one that came out. I was working at University of Phoenix when it came out, and everybody there was playing it. They were all talking about it every day, and I'm like, how do you have time for this? And I was too busy playing other games, and I picked this one up cheap. It was like $5. Best $5 ever, man. I'm loving it. It's an incredible game. You do have that challenge a little, like you were just talking about, where you kind of have to memorize things, because even though it's open world and you really can make whatever choices, I'm finding that the puzzles are really challenging. Like, for instance, I made my way into this one dungeon thing today, and you go through and you try to find stuff and you loot the room, and you can go back and forth. You can go wherever, but there are certain places, like I got to the boss and the door behind me closed. I can't get out. Okay. I've got all these demons. I had to keep playing it to figure out what is the pattern. Do I have to kill all these guys? Can I run around them? What weapons do I use? And it reminded me of those old games, because I really did have to kind of think out the whole scenario before I could just simply, run in and hack and slash.
Yeah.
It's an amazing game.
It's similar like to the Telltale games that have come out recently,
which I love. Oh my gosh.
And I can't wait for Guardians to come out. Batman was good, but
Guardians
I got frustrated with some of the puzzles.
Yeah. Scott, you posted on our Facebook page that by the way, in the show notes now, I have the Twitter and the Facebook. All the news is going to be through there. So we may talk about it, we may not. We got a couple of big things we do want to mention tonight. But you posted that Night Trap is coming out.
Yeah.
You ever play this game?
I had it on the original Sega CD.
Did you?
And
I bet you want that.
It's awful.
Doesn't matter. I'm a collector.
It's that similar type of game where it's like you make a quick left, a quick right, and you're moving through the thing, and if it had been something like where you're going through the house and, hey, here's the thing, what are you going to do? Instead of quick, make a decision, and then you just have to memorize these decisions. The being in the haunted house or whatever. I think it was a stalker or something.
Yeah,
after the young girls.
somebody attacking the girls. Dana Plato was in it.
Right. Yeah.
That was the big deal.
Yeah, I had the original one, and that and Sewer Shark, and they both use Sewer Shark.
I love that name.
Wasn't that your name in college, Rob?
Yes, that was my nickname. That's actually my DJ name, Sewer Shark.
Did you ever play that?
No, never heard of it.
You're in the sewers, and you're in like a little pod, and you're going through blasting rats and other critters that are around in the sewers. But it had that same concept. It used that full motion video, and of course on the Sega CD, it barely 16-bit video, hardly any color, very compressed.
Yeah,
and these are the games that were trailblazing, but at the time they just weren't great.
Well, Night Trapper, I can't remember the name of it now, was on the 3DO, and that was like the premier $700 video game system, and all the games were terrible. Every one of them I ever played on that thing, and I did play it. Every one of them was just awful, but they looked great, But you'd play them, and you're like, "There's no gameplay to these. It's not fun."
Right.
I think that was like the last Starfighter, though. Like you, if you succeeded at the game, you would actually get a job in sanitation. So.
Would Robert Preston come down and save you?
Robert Preston shows up. And you'd have a choice. It's either Robert Preston is a lizard that lives in the sewers, or you'd get the Music Man. So once again, a gamble.
There we go.
Scott hates that.
Wow.
So I want to cover a couple of things because today big news came out. Jonathan Demme died.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, everybody here knows Jonathan Demme, right?
Yes.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. I'm a big Demme fan. Silence
of
the Lambs.
Married to the Mob.
Married to the Mob is so great. And before that, Something Wild was one of those movies we saw in the theaters 6 times.
Wow.
You ever seen that one?
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's so good. And Ray Liotta's nuts in it. That's a shocker. It's a fantastic movie. It has a great soundtrack too. Jeff Daniels and Melanie Griffith, I think. So good, man. So good.
Well, and Rachel getting married. If you guys
is that the one where is that the one where they're out at the house and it's got the guy that played Death in Bill and Ted?
Is that who's playing
the father?
Yes, I believe so.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, and
Anne Hathaway's in it.
Yes,
it's free streaming on. It's free streaming on Crackle right now. So if you guys have Crackle's a free service. So if you haven't seen it, it's there.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Well, and it's really sad because I don't know if you guys remembered, but it was only a few years ago that his brother died. His younger brother died.
No.
Yeah, his younger brother, and this was like a sudden thing, but his younger brother was a super talented filmmaker too. And he didn't reach the heights of Jonathan, because Silence of the Lambs, that puts you into the stratosphere, right?
Yeah.
But he did the movie The Ref. You ever see The Ref?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's with Dennis Leary. That one.
Yeah,
that's actually
fantastic film.
Yeah. Is that before Lindsay Lohan went nuts? Isn't she in that?
She's not in that.
What's that one? That's another one that's like that.
Freaky Friday.
Yeah. No, not Freaky Friday.
Mean Girls.
She's a kid in one of those movies where they trap the parents and make
Parent Trap.
Parent Trap. Hey, that name.
Al's like, I've got the collector edition of that, the Blu-ray.
I have
Silence
the movie
of the Lambs
poster
may
from
not
it.
even be his best movie because Philadelphia is pretty good.
Oh, Philadelphia's amazing.
It's great, but I'm sorry, Silence of the Lambs, and that's
Silence of the Lambs.
Performances in Silence of the
that's
Lambs.
top. That to me is like a top 10 all-time
Agreed.
film.
Yeah, you know what? When you watch that movie, I've seen that countless times at this point. I don't know how many. It's a perfect film. I mean, it really, truly is a work of art. It's paced perfectly. It's shot so beautifully. The acting is unbelievable.
I know what scene you like best. So
yeah, right. It's the one that happened last week at Lil's place when the League of Geeks was down in the basement. He went down there. They're like, get out of here. They threw it at him, and yeah, I know what scene that is.
Of course, that's the first scene that pops in your head.
That's a scene. Chris was talking about. The first scene that pops into my head. No, the first scene that pops into my head is
yours
the one
is
that,
the Jill. No, yours is that Jill that when Clarice is leaving. Yeah, I know.
The one I quote. I've quoted it on this show, and I've quoted it as a Blue Box a number of times. And Molly has quoted it. It's when he traps the girl in.
Wait,
the
you let
van.
Molly watch Silence of the Lambs?
No, but she knows this part. He's got his deviated septum. So
who's judges who?
Yeah, right. When he goes,
Hey.
could you help me move this couch into my van? That part, I love that. part.
You do look a little like Buffalo Bill. I do have to say,
a little bit.
My favorite scene is the lipstick scene.
See, I knew it.
Yeah.
Has anyone heard from Sean and Steve since last weekend?
Call that V-boy. Yeah, you know what? They've been really silent on Facebook. I don't know what happened here, but
it puts the butter on its skin.
Hey, do you have a well in your basement? Although I didn't know South Elgin allowed wells in your basement. So.
They don't know what goes on. No,
yeah, if they don't see it, it's not there.
Wait, is that a moth behind you? Wait, hold on.
Oh man, the other thing I wanted to cover was just I think we got to say it, man. We got confirmation. Indiana Jones 5 is happening. I don't know if you guys
2020, Rob.
But we finally got confirmation.
50 chance that one of them won't make it. I'm just letting you know.
That's okay.
It's supposed to be for Harrison Ford.
That's okay. I'm down with it. Hey, I got to show a couple of things here. So
it's a box.
It's a giant box. So we got our stuff from Entertainment Earth. Ooh. So next week is episode 100. We are going to have our giveaways, and we got to figure out exactly how we're doing it. So we will make those announcements next week. But for now, you can see a little. You've probably seen this one, right?
Oh yeah!
Oh my God!
All the little R2D2s.
Yep, the 6-pack R2s. Yep.
Sorry, Scott. You got to win it to get it. But yes,
Scott just texted me he's quitting to get it.
Right. Yeah, it's completely random, and we will have it on our website. We'll have like a raffle copter for that. But we will be making all those announcements next week. But yeah, man, look at that.
The droids. Oh
yes, we have a couple of these guys, which we will ship out, which are the Doctor Who vinyls.
Oh, nice.
Yep, I know Chris likes those, and they're blind box, so we don't know what's in these. I'm going to send. We also got stuff because another show on the network, Fandom Zone, just had its 100th episode, so they were cool enough to send us stuff for that show too. I'm going to show what they're getting too, because some of this is going to be done through This Week in Geek. Some of it's going to be on there. The R2s are ours, but they sent us a whole bunch of these Dorbs. Which I know you're not a big fan of, but I dig them. I like them. I've got a Stan Lee Dorb here that's pretty cool. Arrow.
Oh.
The Flash.
Pop vinyl rip-off.
I know a podcast who would love
another
they're
Flash
made by
but in
Funko.
different
Are
color.
they made by Funko?
I know a podcast who'd love to give those away.
How about Matt Murdock? Boom.
Oh.
Nice.
See, I have a Ultron.
How about Kingpin? Although he looks more like a Lil if he shaves his head, but that's Zoom. We're not doing that one. That's going to be on their show. Speedy. Does she wear this on the show?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Speedy on the show.
Gonzalez.
And then it's like Mini-Me. It's a little Arrow keychain. He's the mini. It's just as evil, only 1/8 its size. So those are the things. We will make announcements as how they're going to get distributed next week, how you can win them. But you definitely want to watch the show because when they go, they're going to go pretty quickly, I have a feeling. And not all of it is going to be on Rafflecopter. So there's another clue for you. And we will be debuting the first official show shirt. Like we have a T-shirt for This Week in Geek, but we have some new designs coming out. And we have one for the 100th episode that will only be available for 3 days. So we'll debut it on the show. You can see what it looks like. And then 3 days. Well, 2 2/3. 3 days. And the reason we do that is for 3 days, we get it at $14 a shirt. After that, it goes up to $20. If you don't buy it at $14, you don't want it. Right? Bam. And we'll try some other stuff. Now, next week, like I said, we're going to be breaking format. We already did tonight. I think this was fantastic. This is what I want to do. I love it. Next week it'll be all of us again, but we're gonna take our time. We're gonna chat stuff out, and I want to take a poll from you guys right now. What you guys think? Covering the news is obviously what we're getting away from. That's all on our Facebook page and on our Twitter. I talked about this with Phil last night. What we were thinking is maybe doing like either some special stuff, like next week, maybe do a couple of Geektastic cage matches with us. Just all like put a couple of things together and fight them out. Maybe do some trivia. What do you guys think? Or are you just like, nah, I just want to talk?
Yeah, I'm good with whatever. Would that be just for next week's special 100th episode, or
Yeah, that's all it is. No, it's just the 100th episode.
Yeah, that's
cage match. Yeah, cage match would be fun.
All right. So I'll come up with some. If you guys want to think of some, that would be cool. And then we also want voicemails. So anybody listening, anybody watching, please call, leave us a voicemail. Tell us that, you like the show. Tell us you hate the show. Tell us that I look ridiculous. I do.
Hey, what
the
if
number to call? What are you going to say, Phil?
I was going to say, what if we gave away one of those prizes for the best voicemail call?
That's what we're going to do.
Ooh,
That's what we're going to do. I'd say that everybody's going to sign it too, but Phil is on another planet, so he can't sign it. But we may have a signed piece from the This Week in Geek team, minus Phil. Well, I'll forge Phil's signature.
Just write an X.
It's just an X, yes.
Backwards.
A real shaky P.
Figure
P. It's the voicemail is 702-907-8944. 702-907 TWIG, I believe, 8944. I think that's it for the business part of it. Definitely follow us on Facebook. This has been my favorite thing. I love seeing what everybody's been posting all week. It's been a blast, and it's so cool to see what stuff people are picking to post. So cool. You guys got anything else?
nope.
Nope.
Enough said.
A little every time. A little's
Keep
like,
it geeky.
yeah, keep it geeky. A little's like, yeah, I got to get out there. Well, let's give social media. Let's start with you, Chris.
Great. I can be found at theblueboxcafe.com or Blue Box Cafe or Blue Box Cafe 176 on social media.
Awesome. And out at Blue Box on May, is it 9th or 13th? What is it? Second Saturday.
Sorry, I didn't pull it up.
I think it's the 13th. I don't know. Second Saturday of
13th.
May, we're doing a microcon out there. It's shaping up to be quite a fun event. So if you're in the Elgin area or can get to the Elgin area, come out and see the microcon. We're going to have a ton of comic book artists and writers.
It's the Madeline Con.
Yeah, the Madeline Con. And that has its own T-shirt. And that T-shirt is incredible. I love it. And we'll debut that there, too. So, Phil, go ahead.
You can find me on Twitter at NightwingPDP and check out all my podcasts and blogs at philparrish.wordpress.com.
Awesome. And Scott?
I am on Twitter and Tumblr, Scotty Smurf.
And A-Money.
You can follow me on Twitter at LOGEEKZ for the League of Geeks podcast.
Awesome. And you guys don't have any giveaways or anything. You got anything special coming up?
Maybe. We're not 100% sure yet, but we might have quite a few things coming up.
No, teaser. All right, man.
If the authorities can find Sean and Steve.
Yeah, right. Well, it's going to be broadcast live from a Lil's well. Da-da-ba-ba-da. It puts the lotion on itself at a Lil's well. It puts the butter. Sorry, I ruined the joke. And then you can find me. The Twitter for the show is at SMG_twig, TWIG. I would say you can find me at R Southgate, but I can't get into that account. It's ridiculous. But you can send us an email at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com. That goes directly to me. And if you have something to say to any of these guys, I can pass it on to them. So I think that's it. Oh, and at SMG Pods. That's another way to follow us. That's it. I'm done. Until episode 100. Which one of us is Jar Jar if this is the prequel?
Phil, easily.
Phil. All right, Phil, you're Jar Jar.
Misa don't care.
Yeah, right. I think Chris is Queen Amidala.
Oh yeah, I'll wear the getup too. I'm in.
Oh God, who's Anakin then? Rob.
Scott would be Anakin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you are the shortest.
Rob
and
is
smallest
lost.
in the group.
I hate sand.
I
I'll be boss Nas. So there you go.
Excellent. Oh,
Can I be
please,
Darth
can you do
Maul
that?
and cut in half?
Can you? Oh, see, I was going to take Darth Maul because that's the most awesome one. And plus, I'm a little suntanned. You can't really tell, but maybe I can change my.
And you're missing
my
part of your body.
Yeah, that's right. I am. It was cut off in a battle. And Lil, can you do Boss Nass for us and take us out?
Oh my god, I can't do it.
That's it. We're out.
My dog
Great
says
week,
hi.
everybody.